Alright. Hi. How are you? You're looking at me. I'm looking at me. Me, I, me, whatever. Alright, so we are attempting to go to Utah. We are asking for people to help. The people that help, by all means, it's a place for you to help grow food. For people that come, by all means, if you serve the same God that we serve, it's a place for you to have food. Now, whatever we get out of this, whatever lemon juice we squeeze out of this and make lemonade from, the little bit of sweetness that each of us adds is how tasty it shall be. Okay? Alright, so it says the people's names on the page, does it? Alright, so, okay, well, it does. So, thank you for the people that have been donating, and especially the people that have donated twice. I mean, that's really when you know somebody really cares. There was you could see the people's, if they can remain anonymous if they want to. Look at that. So that's cool. I can get into that. All right. So I said I wrote this statement to kick this off. Assemble yourselves. Set up the standard toward Zion. It's important that we as a people on this journey have a few resources. Food, water, bedding are great needs of any individual or group. Unfortunately, these things are not free, nor are they easy to acquire without finance. Because of this, I need your help. I, Alexander Williams, lexwill. I, lexwill. I usually say that as one. Everybody says it back to me as two because this is my second channel and I had to type it up there, blah, 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 blah. I'm asking for your assistance to make a journey to Utah to acquire land. This land will be used to dwell and farm. It will be a starting point for ourselves to practice our Hebrew customs. Worship together and someday make a sacrifice as one to the Creator. I am raising the money for travel and investigation purposes to grow a refuge near locations mentioned in the biblical writings of Deuteronomy chapter 32 and chapter 34. The money donated will be used for travel, for food, for camping expenses. Once selected, the future site of our growth together. The urgency is extreme. For far too long, we as many Afro peoples or black people groups have sat and watched the world slowly die. Our predicament hasn't changed, nor will it without our own willpower. Only in a society set on our terms will we ever find the equality that we claim, we desire, that we deserve. Help me, help ourselves away from their Luciferian New Age. Now, I'm going to thank all these people. Now, Marcus Andrews especially, because this man has activated himself. He has put his mouth where his time is, and then he has put his money where his mouth is. This is 432. He has dropped to 144. 144,000. He is given $144. Thank you from the smallest donation to the largest donation. Trying to get to the beginning of these. Alright. Mr. Wright, 17 days ago, donated $15. Thank you, sir. Kentra Brighton donated. Chris Hall donated. Mr. Hall was in Washington. Mr. Wright was in Washington. Sheila Bourne donated. Thank you very much. Lucy Addiskin has donated. Lucy lives overseas. Thank you, Lucy. Thank you very much. These people care about you. They care about themselves and you. They care about a future with you. Antoine Daniels, thank you very much. Madison H. Madison H. She was in what? Washington with us. Like Mr. Wright, she donated twice. If we don't do, someone anonymous did. Someone that goes by AH donated. Mr. Wright donated. Chuck Taylor, thank you very much, sir. Thank you, Miss Vanessa Perkins. Here's Madison, donated again. Here's Miss Angela Coakley, thank you. If you're a Mrs., if somebody I call Miss and you're a Mrs., is no disrespect, I just don't know you all personally. Hopefully this gets set up and some of you want to come out and put your hands on in the soil and we can toil together. Marco Barnett, thank you very much. I don't have the right to speak for someone like Simon D. Williamson. Thank you, sir. And I don't have the right to speak for Elaine Braithwaite. But I'm sure Simon, seeing this right now, understands that he's thankful that Elaine is there. Now look, if it was just Simon, then only one person donated. But Simon and Elaine donating together, that yokes them into a bond even though they don't know each other yet. I pray one day they do, on great terms. Another anonymous person, Eddie Tuggles, thank you. Hey, I've been watching you for years. You are right on point. Now I will see you in the U. Hey. Mr. Marcus Amp, 432. Thank you. Antoine Daniels, thank you. Albert Harris. The problem is we are spread out. For us to come together in one place and be able to eat. Malik Prince, thank you. This person said, I'm doing this for my children's future. That made me cry, man. Francisco Perez, thank you. These are the people that donated. This was, an hour ago. This is the most recent. Thank you all. From my heart to yours, thank you all. I pray we're successful with this venture. And there are going to be people that come and help and assist that in this society could not make great wage or even decent wage. But listening and learning and having the opportunity that isn't given to them here. This is the chance that we have. Now once we get there and we start growing food and we're able to eat and we have a constructive way to have water, not only for the food to grow but for ourselves to clean and to bathe as well, besides just eating and drinking, then things start growing. And as things grow, we'll have different sections to be able to utilize our own talents. Like the studying and the athletics. We will have time to unify these and work on unified strategies within ourselves, surroundings. We'll have time to learn to hunt or to teach each other to hunt, depending on who comes and what skills they have. There's so many things that we'll be able to do on our own once we're there and set up. Now, for all these people that think that they're going to bring problems, and for all the people that think that there are going to be problems, well, you sit at home and you worry about that, and when the problems in your cities arise, pray to God. Because for some reason you don't think, even though this is written in Scripture, you don't think God is going to protect us from morons, or from vandals, or from evil itself. Now I'll show you something later in the video, and I'll just save my comments for that then. Now I'm going to go through the series of things that we've been learning lately, and we'll just get a collective mindset. Now, I just uploaded a video that talked about King Juba, and we were watching a smooth perspective, and he shows us that they wanted King Juba's book of knowledge. Now, here we went into the book, The American Nations, or the outlines of the general history, ancient and modern, including the whole history of the earth and of mankind in the Western Hemisphere, the philosophy of American history, and the annals, traditions, civilization, languages, all of the American nations, tribes, empires, and states. Oh. And we were down at Preface 10. Starts off the names of the patriarchs, and we get down to Satan, or Iblis, was disgraced from heaven, where Rezoin was his successor, and Iblis, or Satan, was exiled to Seyestan. Satan was exiled to Satan. Seyestan. With the snake and the peacock tribe, his followers. We go to Mercury. You might think this one's out of order, but it's not. We go to Mercury. It's the Roman god. One of the deconsentes within the ancient Roman pantheon. He is the patron god of financial gain, America. Commerce, America. He is the patron god of eloquence, thus poetry, America. He is the patron god of communication, America, including divination, Hollywood, America. Travelers checks, travelers, boundaries, separate this part of America from this part of America and this part of America. Luck, give the traders, casinos, trickery, land theft, thieves, land theft. Oh, we'll get to that part later. He is also the guide of souls to the underworld. Oh, another guy. So when Jesus went to the underworld, did he say hi to Mercury? Did he pass Mercury? Did they high five? Is Jesus Mercury? Mercury rising. He was considered the son of Maya and Jupiter. He's the sun god, the sun deity. He's what? His name possibly related to the word mercs, as in merchandise, merchant, commerce, mercenary, mercari to trade, or merkez, wages. Another possible connection to the Proto-Indo-European root merge for boundary, border. Okay, so to merge borders, right? Colonization, right? And set up mercari, trade, right? And enslave people and deny them their mercesses, their wages, right? Or am I making this shit up? It's right here, right? Peacock, hunky, land-stealing hunky bastard, right? Boundary, border, right? Merge. The word merge and boundary. You know the fucking word merger means take over. Boundary means take over someone's boundary. Merc. Mrick. Look at this shit. Old Norse. Mark of the beast, right? The mark of the what? The Trade Federation. The UC fucking, what is this dude always saying? Kyle's always saying the UPC codes. In the movie The Matrix, they got all barcodes and shit. Now they got scanners, right? A company here and blah 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 is trying out the barcodes for specific people to have access to the cameras. Another possible connection. Okay, you see that? Merge. You know that's merger. Margot. Keepers of the boundaries, referring to the role as the bridge between the upper and lower worlds. Okay, so these people, they consider themselves the bridge between the boundaries, right? Every time they show you Odin and this fucking Bifrost Bridge, right? So in his earliest forms, he appeared to have been related, right, by blood to the Euchristian deity Turms. Both gods share the characteristics of the Greeks' god Hermes, right? Alright, so history. Mercury did not appear among the numinous deities of Roman region. Rather, he subsumed the earlier blah 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 as Roman religion was syncretinized. Excuse me. What does it mean to syncretinize? I showed you this shit already. Syncretinism, the combining of different, often contradictory beliefs. I'm the Son of God, and I am God! How the fuck can you possibly say that? That's contradictory beliefs. That's syncretinism. That comes from motherfucking Cretans. How many times do I have to tell you? Heathens are Cretans. Where do they come from? Crete. What is Crete? It's an island. What does that mean that their root DNA is? Japhet, the people of the motherfucking island. What happened? They got bored on the island. Their shit wasn't enough, so they saw all other people's shit and they started coveting it. So they started taking a piece from this and that. Right? I kill him, he had a nice sword. I kill the other guy, he had a nice headband. Now I've got what? Syncretinism of my what? Culture. Now it's absolutely not a big stretch to, hey, before I killed you, he said something about his God, his beliefs. Now I'm going to take what I can remember because he babbled a lot of shit. But I do remember this, and I still love my Trinity. So his God's the top of the Trinity, right? No, I killed him, so his God's now the bottom of the Trinity. While blending practices of various schools of thought. Well, back at home, Dad said, chop that motherfucker's head off and take a bite of him. Because we believe druid practices. I do that in front of people, and they freak out. So I'll have to have a school of thought of blending other people's practices so they don't freak out when I fuck people up in front of them. And then I'll blend the beliefs. And when I take a piece of them, I just won't show everybody. Syncretism involves the merger of analogizing. Analogizing. You get that? I killed him first. Then it should say fucking chronological. What is analog, right? What is digital versus analog? Digital, you can skip around, right? Analog, you've got to take it piece by piece by piece or hit the rewind button. We took them over first, so that piece is now added to our beliefs. We took them over next, and now that part is added to our beliefs of several originally discrete traditions. Traditions are brought forth by cultures. So what the fuck they're saying here is several fucking cultures have been fucking what? Stripped away of their goddamn beliefs, and a different belief system has come up, sprung up, i.e. religion. So these motherfuckers believe in Hermes, but they can see people really believe in Mercury, but they really dig Christ. So they put the image of Christ so they can worship Hermes, whom is Mercury. See, Rome just changed the fucking name. Do we have a wing hat? Do we have a fucking wing hat? Come on, they got the same shit. Wing cap. Winged hat. Ain't that Captain America? Winged sandals. Ain't that Captain motherfucking America? Ain't that Namor? Motherfucker got fucking wings growing out of his fucking ankles, right? Namor, the Prince of the Seas. Syncretism with Greek religion. That's how it starts. Greeks start conquering people, saying, we don't know who we are anymore, so we want you. And they tried that shit on Rome. Rome smacked the shit out of them and said, wait, how you run around pretending not to know your father? That's amazing. We want to try that. So they hid their fucking shit, right? Mercury had essentially the same aspects as Hermes. Wearing winged shoes, a winged hat, and carrying a caduceus, a what? Herald staff with the entwined snakes that was Apollo's gift to Hermes. Whoa, so Apollo gave this to Hermes. Whoa, well, we have to say, who the fuck is Apollo to be able to do something like that? So, like, when we look at this Baphomet thing, we call this fuck twat a Baphomet, but ye do not have a name other than baby goat Baphomet. Well, if you hold that thing right there by your crotch, maybe that's the authority, and maybe you giving your crotch in other people's hands is what's actually being said here. See, I'm all for mysteries, but I'm not about teaching mysteries. We'll get to this in a minute. I'm gonna have, if he'll do it, I'm gonna have who broke this down. We'll have him show you what's going on with the contradictory beliefs. Now, again, you can see the same shit. This is Hermes, right? This is Hermes' page, okay? And this is Mercury's page, right? Wing hat and sandals. Wing hat and sandals. It's the same dude. It's the same fucking dude. Now, interpretation. Interpretio Romana is when Romans run around and say, well, you got this, you look like this, you got these attributes, so we can identify you with any name being used because you run around with the same fucking garb, or you run around with the same functions. You understand that? If I kept changing my fucking name, but everywhere I went, I smacked the shit out of people and set them on fire, preaching this or preaching a specific thing, then everybody would know my quote-unquote MO, my motive, right? What do they say in Latin? Motive of operation? This is how he operates, right? They're just teaching you to, look, these Bible camps just teaching you to think Latin just because they ain't fucking told you the Latin term for it. Now remember, they say shit's on the other side of the world. I already showed you the Wikipedia page to show you Latin Jerusalem. You ain't motherfucking Latin. Now, this dude's the same motherfucking thing, and he got his motherfucking power. He got the herald staff from Apollo. So does that mean this is Apollo? I need you to think this over, motherfucker. Now, it says, when Hermes ran the fuck around, look, he's a conductor of souls into the afterlife. Is that what the Bible say? Is that what the Bible says? People rest. How does he intercede between mortals and the divine? Does he give them a sleeping pill when they die? Get the fuck out of here, you pagans. For some myths, he is a trickster. Hey, in reality, he's a goddamn trickster. And outwits other gods because they're fucking brainless. They're just like ghosts. They don't, you know, they're another dimension. He tricks. He's in this fucking dimension all the time, and they're in another dimension. Now, oh shit, woo! I see it right now. His attributes and symbols include the Herma, whatever that is, the rooster, the tortoise, the purse, or pouch, wing sandals, wing cap. His main symbol is the Greek karakion, or Latin caducus, caducus, which appears to be the form of two snakes wrapped. Let's wrap. See, it says K-E-R, right? K-E-R-Y-K-E-I-O-N. Now, carry-on really sounds close to cart-IKEA. Right? Watch this. What that motherfucker say? He said, I kick it with the rooster. See, this is a shapeshifter. And he runs around with what? The rooster. Where did it say that? Hold on for a second. Let me go back to Hermes. There we go. It's the same motherfucker, so it don't matter which one I'm reading from. He runs around with the rooster, right? Now, they say this is the caduceus, right? But they called it, they had another name for it. Read the name again. The Karakion. Now, remember that for a second. Now, we done went into the caduceus very little. Now, here's syncretism. Now, here's syncretism, Christianity, right? Gnosticism is identified as the early form of syncretism. So, this is Christianity's early form. So when they say, when you're reading books and it says pre-Christian, Gnosticism is identified as an early form of syncretism. That's the early form of Christianity that challenged the belief of the early Christians. Bullshit. That was the early Christians. Gnosticism, dualism, posited that only spiritual or invisible things were good, and that material or visible things were bad. Orthodox Christians have always insisted that matter is essentially good, since as they believe God created all things, both spiritual and material. So here we would go into Simon Magus appears as one of the early proponents against of Gnosticism, and is considered by some to be one of its founders. Proponents, not opponents. So he's one of the first Gnostics. He was denounced by the church, calling him, including Peter himself, and is regarded by some as the source of all heresies. Now, when you go to syncretism, why does it give you Christianity and then start talking about Gnosticism right off the bat? In the first few centuries after the death and resurrection of Jesus, right? It is for man to only live once. Only time the Bible it says anything lives more than once, it talks about the Nephilim, because they don't have a place of rest. It says there were various competing Jesus movements. The Roman emperors used syncretism to unite the expanding empire. There you have it right there. How would Roman emperors use Christians to unite this if Christians went against Gnosticism? Gnosticism is identified as an early form of syncretism. Are they telling you that Roman emperors created syncretism? See, this is what we're not understanding. These are social waves. You know what happens when a wave hits you? It crashes on you. Plymouth Rock landed on us, right? Alright, so this thing, what is this down here scribbled in the corner? See, his name's already signed. So, what is this shit? Anyway. So, the rooster, known as the cockerel, or cock, the male Gaius bird, usually male chicken. Alright, so I think it's funny how it's got cockerel. Now, you already know that I've stated, when we look at Hermes, it says a name, the carry instead of the cart, the kari, Keon. So, that always reminds me of the Cardiakia. And as we scroll down, the six-faced one, right? All this other shit ain't nothing in English that makes sense except for the six-faced one. How many points are in a six-pointed star? Whoa! It's given away already. This six-faced one that cut something in half, right? And it changed into something else, but they're all united. The subramanium. What does that mean? Is that like, I don't know, when I see that it reminds me of subterranean. This is the Hindu god of war. He was the chief commander of the army of the Devas and the son of Shiva. Worship the sun god. He is also the primary deity of the Kauruman sect of Hinduism. Alright, okay, worship the sun god, right? Often referred to as Tamal, blah, 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 god of the Tamils, is worshipped primarily in the area of Tamil influence, especially blah, 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 Sri Lanka, blah, 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 Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore, blah, blah, blah. His 6 most important shrines in India are the 6 abodes of Murugan, also known as Tamal, literally meaning 6 war houses. Alright? He's in these places in Bengal, Odisha, and Mahar. No, isn't that kind of funny? And write this down, his name shall be known as quick to plunder. I'm going to turn to Isaiah chapter 7, 14 real quick. I'm sorry, chapter 8. And then you have something that looks like the name Mahar, right? Mahar. This is Mahar Shalal, and this is Mahar Ashtra. Mahar Ashtra. Now, it's not the same but it seems very close. Seems like the prefix is taken. You know, Mahar. All right, popularly known as Karakia. Now, when we scroll down here, we learn that other names include Sion, Sentil, Vinland, something, Prince, Child, Young One, bunch of names, Having Six Faces, God with a Club, Cave Dweller. Now, some of these things are more like slang that they call Caucasians, right? Now, when we go to Mercury, and it says he extends his borders, boundary or border for merge, and when we learn about the Kartakia from the word Pakaha, land-stealing hunky bastard, and he's like the peacock, which is a pest because what it does to land, and we deal with that, and we also call the Caucasus cave dwellers based on the history. The Kartakia and Skanda attacker is also known as the Mahajnia, and the Kabamba dynasty worship him by this name. Okay, so there's a lot of things here that I wouldn't even know where to start. Here you have him riding the fucking peacock like it's a horse, you know. I'm gonna go back up again. Sorry. So my God, did they change this overnight? Anyway, look, here's some, in literature he's known as the Dark One. And the Sovereign. There's some weird ones that are here. I don't know why this one is this page is different. I don't know if I have to type in Lord Karakita for it to. Yeah. No, that's Lord Karthikita. Well, it says this. Now it won't show me the damn page I had yesterday. I mean, it shows me this page and it shows me a different picture. Historical development. I don't think that was on the page yesterday. Symbolism, maybe it was. Let me go down to symbolism. Yeah, okay. It carries a peacock depicted as weapons, sword, javelin, mace, discussed a bow, although is usually depicted with a spear, symbolizes the purification of human ills. Mace is yogas. Alright, well. So, you know, this is where they draw him. They draw him as a white man, and they don't even draw him as other blue people are drawn. All right, I'm gonna save that picture. I'm gonna push this image. Save image as last stealing hunky bastard. It's already titled Lord Karakita. I mean, Kartakia. I don't even see that part where it tells you where he cuts the dude in half. Now it's changed that he's the evil lord. Alright, I ain't gonna get too wrapped up with it because, you know, there's other things to talk about. Or, you know, we saw what it was yesterday. You know, so, the, you know, they're, see what, that's what I wanted. Hold on, I'm gonna stop for a second. Alright, now we went from car to Kia, and I guess we needed to have P-file up. Okay, P-file. And this is the 11th tab we have on page. Okay, when we go plumage, irradiance, evolution and sexual selection, cultural significance in Hindu. The peacock is the mount of Lord Karakita, the god of war, a demon king. The god of war, a demon king, Surapadman was split into two by Karakita, and the merciful Lord, the god of war, the merciful Lord, converted the two parts into an integral part of himself. We go back to Karakita, it just calls him the six-faced one. So right there we have three faces. Obviously there's three more. He is the Hindu god of war, right? That's what it says right there. Hindu god of war. Alright, so when we go back here, so the god of war merged himself with what? A demon king. Now, the peacock displays himself in the divine shape of Krishna vision. Okay, so going down here, ancient Greeks believed that the flesh of the peacock did not decay after death. So it was a symbol of immortality. The symbol was adopted by early Christianity. Well, how could that be? Okay, well, syncretism. Okay, well, they just picked and chose what the fuck they wanted through what? War. And through war, they believed they could conquer different what? Systems, or what we call cultures. Right? That's what's going on. Now you're part of a full-blown what? The growth of it all. It started thousands of years ago. One enveloped another, enveloped another, enveloped another, went to war with groups that were enveloped themselves, and when they defeated those groups that were enveloped themselves, they became enveloped into the whole. This is the story of the Borg, right? Agent Smith says to Morpheus, "You're a virus." They turned everything upside down. Agent Smith said to Morpheus, "I'm the virus, and I'm here to stop you from setting the people free." These people come forth, and they start, what? Pushing trees onto the path to walk on. They are the viruses stopping you from reaching what? The Creator. Why? Because there is a virus on Earth that promotes death. That's what it promotes. Death. You've got to die dirty. And if you die dirty, guess what? Financial gain is created. If you die dirty and early, commerce is created. Elegance in poetry. What does most fucking poetry revolve around? Love and death. Messages and communication. What do people communicate about? What do people communicate about it? High up. Love? No. Financial gain, commerce, and death. Including divination. Divination. How does a human deal with divination? Death. Right? When you travel from this world unto the next world, you've died. There are boundaries and limitations, right? Well, all this, each thing, luck, a balance scale, somebody goes up, that means somebody goes down. Trickery, somebody fucking just tricked you out of your money. They went up, you went down. Theft, they stole your goods. They went up, you went down. It's all dealing with the combination of many gods. This motherfucker's three faces of it. They call him six faces. Why? Because when you go to his name, all these other motherfuckers were swallowed up too. They just ain't telling you the story of them getting swallowed up. Well, he's called this here. Well, he's called this here. Well, this existed here until this guy came, and now we call him this. Now we call them both this. Or that. Don't you get it? It's the Borg. Now, what does he do? Right? Hey, if he chops people up and devours them, but they become part of him, then don't that kind of mean like all those peacock eyeballs are its eyes, or the eyes of the things it's devoured? The symbolism was adopted by early Christianity. Thus, many early Christian paintings and mosaics show a peacock. The peacock is still used in the Easter season, especially in the East. The eyes and the peacock tail feathers symbolize the all-seeing Christian God. You already saw me do this, right? Do I have to open it up? Sure. The all-seeing Christian God, right? That's the pyramid, right? My wallet's upstairs. I don't have $1 on me. That's the pyramid. The eyes and the peacock tail feathers symbolize the all-seeing Christian God. In some interpretation, it's the church. Well, that makes sense, since the church sent the Christians over here. Wait, what? Okay, well, I have next. On page what? That was page 11. On page 12, here's fucking what the church did. Okay? This is the 12th tab. We grant you, kings of Spain and Portugal, by these present documents, with our apostolic authority, full and free permission to invade, search out, capture, subjugate the Saracens and the pagans and any other unbelievers of Christ, and any enemies of Christ, wherever they may be, as well as their kingdoms, their duchies, their counties, principalities, and other property. You see, Israelites don't go by dukes and duchies. If the duke dies, the queen rules. That's not an Israelite custom. If the king dies, what does it say happens to the queen? You guys need to read that Bible again. You guys are brainwashed by African practices. And if you live in a kingdom, then there's only one king. Everybody can't be king in a kingdom, because then everybody says, well, fuck, I'm a king. Why would I have to listen to him? See, we live in Babylon, where everybody, in America, each man's home is his kingdom. Each man's house is his king. And you gave that house up to your woman. So in America, which you live in now, America, your kingdom has been given up to your unmarried baby maker. This is why it's called Black Queens. And you guys don't understand where it comes from. Because you were overthrown. You can't sit there and preach the customs of your society. I rule over you by black vagina. Because you've been overthrown. Your counties, your principalities, the gods you worshipped, and other property, any other kind of shit. Whether it's property, pottery, for land claims, overthrow that shit. These Olmec heads, they're too big. Well, roll them if you can. If can't, just don't talk about them too much. Right? All-seeing Christian God. And that's what this has to do with. The peacock can symbolize the cosmos. It can symbolize the cosmos if one interprets its tail to be as its many eyes as the vault of heaven dotted by the sun, the moon, the stars. By Christian Christian adoption of old Persian and Babylonian symbolism, in which the peacock was associated with paradise and the tree of life, the bird is again associated with immortality. In Christian iconography, The peacock is often depicted next to the tree of life. Now, every time I tell you about syncretism and that these Christians are nothing but cretins through war, they've amassed an ongoing belief system that is from different parts of the world, and it is written in to trick you. Paul don't say worship the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. Oh, yes, he does. Where does God say worship the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost? Where does God tell you to make a prayer and inject anyone into it? Where does Isaiah say, hey, I'm a son of God, I'm a servant of God, preach my name? He doesn't. Now, if you dial your mother's home, there's a specific 10 digits you have to dial. 10 buttons you gotta hit. If you mess one button up, you're not gonna fucking talk to your mom, right? So imagine if I pray and I'm not hitting those 10 digits. Hiya, hiya. How is my prayer going to be answered? If I want to call, I've got to hit those 10 digits or I'm not going to talk to. I'm going to talk to. You got to tell me you don't understand it. Treaty of Tripoli. It's the peace and friendship between the United States of America. What year is this? This is 1779, when your ass is still enslaved. And the Bay people, who called themselves the Bay people. And the subjects to Tripoli. Subjects? Does that mean the people of Tripoli? Go into it on your own, man. Here you got the people of the Washita Indians on U.S. soil. That say they the El Bay people. They part of the people that signed this treaty with the United States. No, they got land and you don't. No. You type in George Washington letter to Morocco. And you see all this shit down here. George Washington writes a letter to the Sultan of Morocco. Now, I was going to read this one, but this shit's getting kind of thick already. I got the little baby monitor up here. I see the little boy going all crazy and shit. So, we're going to go to messages. On the messages, this brother says, hey Lex, you've always provided me with breadcrumbs and knowledge, if not jewels, sir. Anyhow, thank you, sir. He says, I have to work tons of hours, so I only have a few hours, to watch your vids. When you mentioned Pennsylvania, I knew nothing of this walking stick treaty or whatsoever, but I have a cousin who I knew nothing of that is on Ancestry. That is from Philly. So I guess he has a cousin that knew about it. That's on Ancestry.com from Philly, and they dress in Native American clothes, and she has a walking stick in her name. So until you posted the walking stick treaty, I never even put it together with the Penn family. So then I found this. He says, thanks for your hard work and directed research, eye-opening information. Now here to the next thing, he sends this. He sends a ethnic cleansing in Pennsylvania, the 1763 massacre of Conestoga. Alright, now it says from events in Indian history, courtesy of Pennsylvania Historical and Museum Commission, in the 1841 print of Paxton Boys Massacre, the artist put the Paxton Boys in 19th century dress. He did, however, capture the horrible violence of the episode. So basically he's saying these people in this 19th century dress with the pants and coats didn't dress like this in the 18th century, meaning 1763, when this massacre actually took place. So you see, this is the massacre that actually happened, and it says that there was horrible violence, and it's captured in this portrait when an armed mob hacked to death a party of unarmed Indian men, women, and children in the streets of Lancaster. Now, this is before your laws are all set into place. This is before your presidents are set into place. This is what you did to acquire land. You don't believe me? Scholars from the U.S. and Great Britain and Native activists converge on Lancaster, Pennsylvania, share information at the symposium called the Paxton Boys and Conestoga Massacre 250 years later, held December the 13th and 14th. The event started with a blessing ceremony in a long... How the fuck can you start with a blessing? Fuck you! In a long house, and ended with a theatrical presentation that included the reading of the names slaughtered Conestoga men, women, and children that died. And why don't you name the descendants of the people that benefited from the fucking slaughter? Who are the descendants of the Paxton Boys today? You people make me sick. Most of the symposium was dedicated to presentations on different facets and consequences of the bloody episode. Like, who are the Conestoga people? What happened? Where are the three that are alive today? The series of events that led to the atrocity included rumors in the Commonwealth in 1763 that the local tribes were joining Chief Pontiac's call to attack colonists, but they were unarmed. What were they going to do? Tickle you? Supposedly, in reaction to the rumor, a small batch of Scottish-Irish, right? Scot-Irishmen from Harrisburg, who became known as the Paxton Boys. So it's just Scottish and Irish people that did this, right? They rode to Conestoga's village near Lancaster and killed 6 men and then burned their cabins in December of 1673. Lancaster authorities moved the 14 Conestoga survivors. He moved them to a workhouse. He fucking enslaved them in the city for their protection. He enslaved a workhouse, goddammit, for their protection. There was only, look, six were killed, 14 survivors. They only had 20 people in their fucking packet, in their family, in their tribe. So they sent their ass to prison for protection. On the 27th, right? This is on the 14th that they burned this shit up. On the 27th, the Paxton Boys followed them and laid siege to the workhouse. The local sheriff got out of their way after being threatened, and the Paxtons brutally slaughtered the 14 men, women, and children. And then they have the town registry of the slaughter, right? The Paxton Boys sacrificed, sparked a pamphlet war in Pennsylvania between those who opposed and supported their actions. Benjamin Franklin wrote and published the anti-Paxton react. You already know they don't win it. Benjamin Franklin's fucking lawn, right? And dug up all those fucking children. Here, well, we didn't know Benjamin Franklin was brought up. Why was Benjamin Franklin's basement Smithsonian Magazine, right? I bet they leave out this little black children, right? You ain't gonna have little white children fucking dead in his place, right? Oh, continue to the site. Quit this advertising and shit. I got no fucking money. Why Benjamin Franklin's basement's filled with skulls. Repairs on Franklin's old London house turns up 1,200 pieces of bone from at least 15 different people. Right? So that's how he lived. You think people just owned his property after he left and shit? No, they made that a historic site, right? So ain't nobody doing shit in there but him. Now this shit want to lock up. Where were we? Yeah, that's where we were. So, what was it? P file was 11. 12 Dunbar verses. Treaty of Tripoli was 13. Washita 14. George Washington writes a letter, that's 15. The letter itself, that's 16. We look at the messages, we won't count that one. This is 17, what the message leads to, about how this massacre takes place. And then we'll count that as 18, because we go and look at what Benjamin Franklin does himself with damn dead bodies on his fucking his estate. Now we're gonna go into Haplogroups. Somebody made a video to me, and I don't appreciate people thinking that if I give you hours of information on one topic, I don't appreciate that if you think 7 measly fucking minutes is enough to sway my persuasion. I think that's rude. Now, somebody said, hey, had our DNA tested, and we come back and it says that we're Q3. Alright, that says Q3, that says Q3, right? And it says R1B, right, with a question mark. Now, who would make a fucking a detailed map and then put a question mark there? Okay, so, oh, I forgot, you gotta scroll, you can't like move it like that. Alright, C3. So, now you see that it's got names and shit, C3, C3, and then Q3, Q3. Alright, C3s and Q3s all through there. So Amerindian, alright, so this guy, Khalil, says he's Q3, so he believes he's related to the Amerindians. And Q3, they have all this, they even stamp it right on Brazil. So, he believes he's related to the people of Brazil based on his DNA. That's fine. Now, he is over here in the West Coast, and he says he's Q3. So, as you can see, these little arrows that they, draw all around, looks all fun. Looks all family circus. Now, over here, they say it's Q3 in the Northeast Amerindians. Over here, it's Amerindian and Northeast Amerindian. Alright, so, when we go over here, and we look at Q3, we look at where Q is from. It says Q is over here in the Russia's Siberia, what is it starts with a U? I can't remember the name of it now, and it's not written on the screen. But anyway, so you see Q starts here, and when you look over here, oh, I keep doing that. And when you look over here, Q2 is Turks. Now, that's fair, because the Bible says that Ottoman Turks are the strongmen of Esau. Alright, so, and it says it's out of this Q setup right here. So here would be Q. Somehow, strangely, here's Q1. Eskimos, Mongoloids. And then here's Q and Q. See, it's saying Q start having two different starting points. actually 3 in this area and here, and Q2 is Turkmen, right? So you're claiming that you're Q3 Amerindian, or Q3 Northeast Amerindian. I'm assuming because you live over here and you're not part of the Inuit that you're saying, and you're not a Turk, Q2, that you're Q3. Now, there's no Q4, right? There's nothing like that on screen. What point, what Q is the Indian, though? The one with straight, stringy hair. Is that Q3? Okay, see, this is my question. What does Q3 consist of? Now, it's one thing to say you're all related. Now, if you can prove you're all related through this swamp, then fine. But so far, you're just saying you're related to Turks and Eskim. Damn, how do you say it? Esquimaux? Esquimaux. So I hear you, but I don't see it. Now this is what I'm gonna show you. So you believe that you're gonna be mapped up. Alright. Now here's Shemitic under J. F G I J L, and then they skip all the way over to T. Alright. Now here's J2 in Mesopotamia. Here's J2. Now, where does J? Where's J now? See, it says J comes down and goes over here with E. See J1 right here? But the arrow keeps going? Well, what the hell's over there? Nothing. Nothing but E3. So what does that mean? Why did J change to E3? How could J go backwards? Look at the arrow. It points over there and nothing's over there, right? Now watch. You're saying, oh, well, like the arrow goes to America. No, it doesn't. All this shit's over here is Q and purple shit. Q's and C's. Q, C's, and R1, B1, right? Right? Well, how can that be? See, we're chasing Shem. And they claim the name is right there. Shem. Now, how come it ain't nowhere else? Now we read that Bible. It says Shem had everything, not too cold, not too hot. It was just right. So we should be seeing J1 all throughout this region. But we don't. Now you ready? Now you ready? Here's why. I'm gonna fucking say it to you again. Afro-Asian refers to a person of mixed African and Asian ancestry. The term can refer to the descendants of Aboriginal, mostly uncontacted Asian ethnic groups such as the Negritos, which are Asian pygmies. Negrillos are African pygmies. Negritos are Asian pygmies. And if you can't fucking prove that that's Nebuchadnezzar, but your argument is to use this haplogroup family circus fucking cutout to say the people of Chad are Nebuchadnezzar, then stop that shit. Mostly uncontacted Asian ethnic groups such as the Negritos. Historically, Afro-Asian populations have been marginalized as a result of human migration and social conflict. You are marginalized. You will always be marginalized. So where's your fucking DNA on here? So you say you're Q, and they say Q3 is Q3 because of RB1, and they put a question mark there. Here's why. Now, that was Y-DNA by haplogroups. Let's just go into haplogroups. Okay, let's go to R1B. Alright, that's what they had there, right? Let me go back real quick. R1B, right? There you go. Okay, so let's read. In human genetics, haplogroup R1B, which is called M34. Yes, M343, but it's so relevant. Previously called HG1 and EU18. What the fuck? Okay, listen. Okay, we're just gonna stop. Alright, listen. If I did this video yesterday and I got so fucking mad, and it was about haplogroups. It was about an hour and a half, and I just got so mad. And haplogroups it just really gets me fucking angry. I'm gonna go into this. I'm gonna explain this real fucking simple. I'm gonna explain it as simple as I can. They don't want you to know who you are. Now they didn't give you a DNA test that says that you're cute. Now you say you're related to the people here and here, and that's fine, all right. But that also says that they're saying that you're related to the Indians if they say Amerindian. When they say Amerindian, they're not talking about you. They're gonna tell you you fucked into that tribe as an African slave. You don't understand how they're gonna play it. They came out with DNA, right? They came out with DNA. They didn't say, we know who Alexander the Great is because we know where his tomb is. They didn't say, we know where King Arthur is, you know, or any of that shit. They didn't say, we know where Genghis Khan's tomb is. Now we know what his DNA looks like and people that have his DNA. They didn't say, we came out with DNA and we can tell how far back Magic Johnson's descendants go and where they come from. They came out with DNA. The minute they came out with motherfucking DNA, they didn't say, we know where Adam's body is, we know where Eve's body is, we can tell if somebody's here on earth from Adam and Eve or if they're from something else. The minute they came out with DNA, think of the greatest asshole in history that they make a big deal about. We know where George Washington is buried. We can tell you what bloodline he came back as far back in time because we have this body from blah blah blah, and it's the minute DNA comes out, they say one motherfucking thing to you. We know who the bloodline of Aaron is. Wait, what? Aaron? What the fuck are you talking about? Conan the goddamn barbarian is from the Sumerian tribes. The Sumerian tribes had great people. Hercules is actually from the fucking Indian tribes, from the Canaanites. Alright? all these great, majestic, strong mother... Zeus, fucking Ham himself. These motherfuckers coming. We know who the Aaron bloodline is. What does that tell you? That it's controlled. The people that came out with, this is haplogroups and this is how we'll find your ancestors, the first thing they say is, we know the bloodline of Aaron, it's us. Come into the whorehouse, the house makes 30%. Right? House rules, right? This is a house rules setting. You can come in the house, you can gamble, but house takes 10% of everybody at the end of the night. House rules, right? DNA house rules. Now, R1B used to be called HG1, and it used to be called EU18. So during what time periods? So when I read a report about EU18, am I supposed to automatically know that they're talking about R1B? When I see M383, E343, M343, am I supposed to know that's R1B? It's confusing on purpose. Because they don't know what the fuck they're doing. They're busy trying to understand what connects to what. Now, if everybody starts giving their DNA, and then you got a big chart pie of DNA of Earth, you don't have to go find the body of this person historically or the body of that person historically. If you can see that their DNA matches the root DNA of man and there's something special there, it's already going to show. If you already got Caesar's body, then you already know what's in Caesar's blood. Then you already know if Caesar's descendants have the same chemistry makeup, right? Because you can see if they look at Caesar as a root. See, you're told they can't go back nothing but 24 generations, right? Okay. But you got to see that DNA fraud video and understand what that really means. So if there's thousands of people in your DNA, they can go back 24, and then they go 24 more and 24 more. So they know what they're doing. They're pretending that they don't. That's why they give you the fucking test results as a fucking bunch of construed numbers. Like you, the fucking dumbass that paid $100 fucking bucks, can do it. They were supposed, them taking your fucking money and then sending your DNA off to a fucking lab to do it. They should have been able to fucking. They give you, oh well, you're 12% this or 5% this or 17% this, and you're like, what the fuck does that even mean? That means that somewhere your people done died in that soil, or your people done mingled with that people that died on that soil. But they can't tell you. I'm gonna show you these charts. I'm gonna show you something that's gonna blow your mind. And if it doesn't blow your mind, it means you're fucking stupid and you weren't praying for brains. Look, I'm stuttering. Pray for brains. Each human has the ability to be smarter. It's a cloud. You break through the cloud just like that. If that cloud's there, it's because your heart's not in the right place. It's a curse. You're not dumb people. Build fucking gigantic megaliths. Megalithic people have been enslaved. Come on, get to it. I bet Nehemiah had a motherfucking whip, dude. I bet he whooped the shit out of people. Oh, it's so hot today. Oh, shut the fuck up. I'm just joking. Bet he had a rod though. Okay, so R1B R1B1 or M343 used to be called HG1 and used to be called EU18. Okay, it's the most frequent Y chromosome, male chromosome haplogroup in Europe. Its frequency is the highest in Western Europe, especially in Atlantic Europe, due to European immigration in North America, South America, and Australia. In southern England, the frequency of R1B is about 70% in parts of North and Western England, Spain, Portugal, France, Wales, Ireland. The frequency of R1B is greater than 90%. So, look at this. You go to haplogroup, blah, 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 blah. It's a combination of alleles of different chromosome regions that are closely linked to tend to be inherited together. Tend to be. So, R1B is also known as the haplogroup as RM343, right? All these different fucking names can keep you confused. Is the most frequent occurring Y chromosome haplogroup in Western Europe as parts as Russia. Wait a second, I just read this motherfucker and he never said Russia once. Now it's all over Eurasia. Look, they spread it over here. Look, these black circles, like nope, nope, nope. But this says yes, yes, yes. Some parts. So everywhere they put a 0 on this one, next to it should have been a fucking one of these at least. This should have been spread out in different parts where they concur with other writings. Unless they were confused when they were looking it up and they didn't think that when they came across HG1 and EU18 it also had to do with R1B. So anyway, when we continue, it starts to say Central Asia, the Turkestan, right? Central Africa, Chad, Cameroon. Okay, so we go back to this map, right? And when we go back to this map, we go to Chad and Cameroon. And when we see that most Europeans, now European, if French high court say Europe, no Europe, then the French people in West Europe that's R1B came from somewhere. If the people down here in Chad are R1B, I don't think they came out of fucking J. I don't think they came from this part right here. I think they came from right here and were forced up. Now with them being forced up through leprosy, right? So let's go back over here into haplogroup R1B. Now listen, it says R1B also reaches high frequencies in the America and Australia thanks to colonization, due largely to immigration from Western Europe, right? Immigration, right? There is an ongoing debate regarding the origins of R1B subclass found at significant levels of indigenous peoples in America. That means that the Canaanites, the indigenous groups of America, have R1B, remember, on the list. Oops. On this list. You say R1B over here and the question mark, right? That's because R1B is African. And that's why you have Canaanites here with R1B. Now, when we go to there's an ongoing debate regarding the origins of R1B. How do these black people and these Indians have the same blood as white people unless white people must spawn them? See, that's the argument. But they don't respect that they used to have pigment and they used to look like the other groups until they would turn leprous and their hair turned yellow. And it states such as the Algeric speakers in Canada. See, this is why when you watch the conspiracy dude's Fury in his video, the Russians say that everybody that has dark hair is a bastard because everybody that's intermixed back into the races that haven't been stripped of melanin, right? If leprosy is white supremacy, then that means the curse has been turned into or looked at worldwide as a gift instead. So we're gonna go down here. And then it gives you these percentages of R1B in Africa and other places, right? And that's kind of a shitty one, right? Oh, I went too far. Here, let me go back to the top. Here we go, right here. Now, while Western Europe is dominated, all of Europe is dominated by the downstream subclass of R1B1B, especially R1B1B2, the Fulbe and Chadic-speaking peoples of Africa are dominated by the primary branch. Did you hear that? Europe is dominated by subclads. Africa has the primary branch. R1B1A. R1B1A, the primary. Did you just understand that? The Europeans are ex-Chadians. You get that? Read it right here. It's right fucking here. Tomorrow they gonna change it. Because they'll understand what I'm fucking saying. While Western Europe is dominated. Eastern Europe, West. While Western Europe is dominated by the downstream of that means minor, clads of R1B1B. Fulbe and Chadic speaking peoples of Africa are dominated by the primary branch. That means this should be fucking dark purple. Look over here on this. That means this should be dark purple and this should be light purple, but they lied. Now, let's go. We went to Chadic, right? Chadic tells you all the people of Chad. Now, these are the fathers of the white people. That's why fucking black people in Africa are fucking considered white. That's what I should title this. But now, why DNA haplogroups of European populations? Now, this will fuck with you. Now, since what we want is their connection to Africa, let's look at E1B1B and R1B. Now, R1A is the root branch, right? Now, when we scroll down, we'll just keep these. This is the number of people. The N is the number of people that took the test. Now, we want category 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, 1, 2, and 4 are the categories of Africa. Now, Albanians, fucking African. How they mingle with somebody else? Now, they mingle with somebody else. That's the part African though. 35 and 18 is their percentage of African blood. Now, whether it be leprous blood, which makes them higher up on the white supremacy list, or black blood, as they'd like to say, or melanated blood, you know, their images will be the judge. How they look today are the judge. Now, see, they never knew this fucking list was going to be used this way by fucking laymen, but they know what's in the list because they made the fucking list. Now, Albanians of Kosovo are 43% E1B1B. Now, where's E1B1B at? Now, this is how you truly use this shit awful list. E1B1B. Now, it's over here. We'll start back in a minute. Okay, when we look at Africa, we don't see E1. There we go, E1A. Now, E1B, here's the root branch, Dogon, the Dogon tribe of E1A. So, let's go back to, where are we at? Y-DNA. So, E1B is related to the Dogon tribe. They're not the root. They're not E1A, which is Dogon, but they're related. So as you scroll down, you see 30 people were tested, 13 have R1B, 13 R1A. 23% have the African DNA of E1B1B. Now, I don't know what I represents, I don't know what J represents, and I don't know why they don't have the entire alphabet up here. But as you scroll down, you see who has the most. Now, the most is, let's see who's related the most to the E1B1 tribe, and as we can see over here, who's related to the African Chadic tribe. Okay, now, you have 65% of the Andalusians, whatever they are. Alright, when we say a name, we understand that. Armenians, they are 29% RB1. So 29% Chadic and 5% E1B1, right? So that's 5% from E1B1. As we scroll down, and we see some people with higher numbers, but the biggest thing that we should understand is when people have low numbers, and that's the scary thing. Now you have 76% were part of an italic, right? Andolians, right? 76 people tested. Nothing from R1B, nothing from R1A, 9% from E1B, from the Dogon tribe, 1% from something else, and absolutely nothing from anything else. Where's the rest of the makeup that they've... 9% doesn't mean they've mated with themselves. 90% means they mated with themselves. 0% means they haven't mated with any other humans in their fucking area. Now that's a scary thing. Now you gotta wonder, where do they come from? So as we scroll down, we'll look for more. But I've got to wrap this up for now, and we'll continue in a bit. Alright, hey, I'm back. I don't do this much, but I had to leave in the midst of this video. Now, I've taken small breaks, but this time I've left. It is a few hours later. I don't technically remember the last thing said. Now, if you remember, by just going back a few, we were covering what's in what categories. Okay, so here we have E1B1B, which goes back to the root of E1, right? And where did it say E1 was? Right here, Dogon, E1. And A is branch 1, and E1B is branch 2. And if there's an E1C, that's branch 3. And then it changes to E2, and then it changes to E3. And then I'm sure it changes to E4, but it's E3B1. So you see how these are just branches of E. E1, and then E2 is somewhere, you just don't see it, and then it changes to E3. And you can see E3 is all over. E3A, E3A, E3A down here. E3A, 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 then E3B, E3B, B1, B2. Pardon me. So, you can see how that goes on. Now, if the Berbers are Arabs, how come their blood ain't that far off, right? It's not just intermixed with blood, it's as if the blood came back. Well, remember, if everybody wants to tell you, oh, Noah's Ark stopped in Africa, blah, blah. Now look, the children of Cain, the Chinook, okay, these people aren't on the Ark. They survived a flood to get the judgment of God. So aren't there other people groups? Dogon is what? Poseidon? Now the Dogon people, isn't that separate from the Philistines? The people of the seas? Or whoever the people of the seas might be. I think the Philistines like to, no. Who's it? Who's that? Can't remember the name of them right now. Anyway, it starts with a P. They're Canaanite. They're like the Philistine, but the Philistines are actually African, or Carthorum. That's what the Bible says. So I'm going by the Bible. As you guys want to go by this fucking crazy map, I'm going to go by the Bible. See, you got Shino Tibetan, Well, Shino is Sin, that's China, right? So that's Chinese Tibetan. So why is that a O instead of these early things that have to deal with quote unquote Ham? Why does E and A, see A right there, see A? Why does A and E and R and B, why do all those have to deal with Hamitic bloodlines? Right? And then when you go to the bloodline map, I mean the chart, why aren't those all represented here? Why is R1B and R1A, which is both out of Africa, out of the Chaditic languages, and what else? Let's go back to Haplogroup, and it says F-U-L, Fulba, and Chaditic speaking peoples. See, we ask R1B, okay, let's ask R1A. You know? So this computer sure does sleep a lot. Come on, buddy, wake up. Thank you. So R1A. Alright, and it says it's Eurasia. Okay, that's all it's going to tell you is Eurasia. R1A is M512, I believe, as this one states. So there's one R1A M420. So you gotta understand, this is a little confusing with all these numbers and what did R1A used to be. You know, so here we'll click on that. And I'm not doing this to confuse you. This is their own shit, man. Hey, that's what I'm bringing forward. EB1, right? R1A, we don't need that one. You just need this, right? Eurasia is much more common than other in all major geographic regions. R1A1 defined by the single nucleotide polymorphism S&P mutation, and sometimes alternatively RM198, and that is particularly common in a large region extending from South Asia to southern Siberia to Central Europe to Scandinavia. Okay, and Underhill did that study in 2009. The family is most defined by the broad S&P mutation of M420, which is discovered after M17, and the discovery of M420 resulted in a reorganization of the lineage in the particular establishment of a new paragroup designated RM420 for the relative rare lineage for lineages which are not in the R-SRY 10831.2 R1A1 branch leading to RM17. Okay, come on. Is anyone? Are you fucking delirious? So it goes through RM40 to SRY 1532.2, and then okay, so basically it goes R1A1 to R1A1A to R1A1B1 to R1A1B2, and then in popular science, whatever that means, in the historic naming of R1A, rah, hey, come on, this fucking shit, right? And they tell you everything poured out of what? Out of this area. And then you want to understand Indo-European migrations. Now, when we look at this map looks a lot different than everything else, don't it? Italy all the way over here, little old Britain over here. Now, what could this possibly be right here? Can anybody tell me what this is right here? What could that be? Okay, well, let's see. Okay, so now it's gonna get that way out. Stay in here. I think so. So if we're gonna grab a map, and we're gonna see like what that place is real quick. So let's just see what map. Let's see a map of Europe. The images. I said map of Europe and then they show me the United States. So we just look at some shit. Alright. Now here's the Haplogroup page, and that's the Indo-European migrations, right? So that's Egypt right there. That's the Middle East, right? So it's right above the Middle East where it's purple right there. So let's go back to the map. Now we'll get another one. Here's a simple one. There's Iraq. We all know Iraq's part of the Middle East. And there's this place right here. Right? Let's just double check. That's what we're looking at, right? That little place, that's where Iraq and shit is, right? That little place right there. There's the two big bodies of water, and then that spot right there, right above it. So, the two bodies of water, and that place right there. What part is that part of? What does it say right there? Can you see that? Can you see that right there? Can you see that right there? Can you see that right there? I'm gonna go back to that Haplogroup map. You get real close. You don't think I'm just playing you or anything, any kind of shit like that. See that right there? No. Let's go back to the map of Europe. Where's that say? Between the two bodies of water right there. See that right there? Am I looking at that wrong? Should I just grab a world map? Here, this one goes further back. There's Iran right there. And the Haplogroup map. Ain't no states on there. Ain't nothing cut up so you can read it. There's Egypt. Basically, you see this longitude line right here? You see this latitude, excuse me, this latitude lines right there. Right? Europe's over here in the next box, right? Just because they ain't got that on the longitude lines, you can see Europe's over here. There's Italy. There's Turkey. They don't even say they out of Turkey. They out of Russia. Right? What's right there? What's right there? My great uncle is from the Ukraine. What's right here? Huh? Where do the Khazars live? Where are the Khazars from? Wait a second, what? Look at that. Indo-European migrations often thought to be linked to R1A. Okay. So there you have R1A. Well, what do you classify South Russians? Arabs. not Russians. Hold on for a second. Here we have Conspiracy Dude's Fury with his amazing video, What Happened to Little Kim. Alright? Now remember how it starts. It starts with burnt hair. Now remember, just because you saw me say it starts with burnt hair and it leads to burnt face, how many of those people haven't heard me say that but are going to still follow down that path not knowing it's a psychosis? Now listen here. Watch this.
Says, why do Russians call Chechens and Caucasians blacks?
Now remember, you're ruled by Caucasians, right? Now, they show you that R1, what do they say? Let me go back. Oh shit, this one took his shit, didn't it? Yep, took a dive. It was cool with being used a minute ago, but it knows what it's being used for. Now it's giving up. Alright, when you hear R1, you're already told it comes out of Europe. Western England, Spain, Portugal, France, Wales. When you go to R1B, that's what it tells you. Also, it tells you even out of Russia. Now, let me get rid of haplogroup, and it's haplogroup R1B. Right? This one, don't get me wrong, this one's R1B as well. And then this one's R1B. Also Chad, Cameroon, some parts of Russia, Central Africa, Central Asia, Western Europe. So let's not get confused. Now, what do the Russians say about the people that we're talking about with R1B blood? Excuse me. See, that's just something attacking my all imaging stuff.
Wait, let me read that again. Why do Russians call Chechens and Caucasians blacks? I want that to sink in a little bit. These Chechens and Caucasians, if you were to see them, you would call them white in America. But in Russia, they're called black. I want you so-called African Americans to think about
these people are at the peak of white supremacy here in the colonized regions. But in Russia, they're blacks. Now in Russia, you still nigga still nigga, but you know what I'm saying.
That you're running around screaming black power, black pride, black economics. Do you even know what black means? How do you explain why Chechens and Caucasians are called blacks in Russia? Now here's a very interesting comment I'm going to read for you guys. It says, I'm an ethnic Russian. Ethnic Russians, that is to say real Russians, are Slavic and therefore white. In Russia, as well as the rest of Europe, the term Caucasian is not used to denote the white ethnicity. Instead, the term white or European is used. Having said that, faces of Caucasian ethnicity is a term used to describe the people living in the Caucasus region, and Russians call all people of Caucasian ethnicity black, not white. Let me read that again. Let me read that again. Chechen and Nochi are Middle Eastern people, and Russians call all people of the Caucasian ethnicity black.
Now, let me show you that again while it's important, alright? This article is called 15 Thoughts on What Racial Groups Are Chechens. What racial group are Chechens? Now listen, these people over here, Chechen or Nochi, are Middle Eastern people. Armenian, Georgian. Now let me tell you, somebody sent me a video, right? I was like, why the fuck would I ever need this video? It was a Schoolhouse Rock video. I done got rid of it, didn't I? Oh man, they sent me a Schoolhouse Rock video. Let me find that video real quick. Now, if I use that video, they for sure probably won't let me use that. But it shows that, you know, many Americans are more than American. They share a secondary title, and it's their ethnic home. I couldn't find the Schoolhouse Rock video. Whoever sent that, can you send it again? Somehow I have somehow misplaced that one. But let's continue with this.
Location, ethnicity, black, not white. Let me read that again. Let me read that again. Chechen and Nochi are Middle Eastern people, and Russians call all people of the Caucasian ethnicity black, not white. Let that sink in. Now here's an article from the Washington Post where you have this file.
Alright, let's see if we can get this one activated. Alright, let me look over here again. So, here we have that area here. Between the two waters. Oh, and it's just not playing nice. Ah. Okay. Whatever, but if you get to look at that map, look at the map, and when the map between the two rivers right there, I mean between the two bodies of water right there, you'll see that between those two bodies of water, what were we under? Chaddock. We scroll down. Did this thing change something, or did I just not go the wrong one? Oh, let me go back. I done lost it. I done lost my place. Where my slick map went. E1B. And then that's the map. And then the Haplogroup came in. And what are we under? EV? No, that's for another one. Oh, I just faked out my computer. Alright, since I can't use the haplogroup map, this is the E1B1B message genetic group. Ethiopia. See, it's just, I can't find that one now. Alright, let's go back here. What are we dealing with? There's this mapping. Now, we've already got, I think let's just get rid of some. There's that. Let's use this. R1B1. Oops. Okay. Chadic speaking peoples, and when we go to the Chadic, we get to the Chadic languages, and that was sideways a second ago. Yeah, I can't find the map where this one was over on the side, because that's the Importo map. Now, we'll get to that one in just a second. And this one. Now, we'll get to that one. Alright. Sorry about that. Oh, that's a Benjamin Franklin thing. Alright. on your page changed on me.
Hello, I won't even try to pronounce his name, who is black in Russia, but white in America. Here it says Russia has historically been far more concerned with its status as Eastern or Western, Asian or European than it is with skin color or scientific understandings of race. The Russian word for black has recently started to be applied to people of African descent as part of a compound term, black-skinned, but only as a reluctant adoption of American terminology and in the face of English speakers' discomfort with nigger, the traditional Russian term. Whoa. Whoa. Let me read that again. Rewind. The Russian word for black has recently started to be applied to people of African descent as part of a compound term, black-skinned, but only as a reluctant adoption of American terminology and in the face of English speakers' discomfort with nigger, the traditional Russian term. The reluctance stemmed from the fact that black as a categorical descriptor of human beings is in Russia negative by definition. And it is applied not according to skin color but hair color. Whoa! Say that again. And it is applied not according to skin color but hair color. In Russia, the blacks are the people from the Caucasus. Wow.
Okay, so I know why I couldn't find the page, because I opened that one off of it, and it's the R1A page that holds this map. Yes, that's why I'm over here going crazy and shit. Alright, so the people from the Caucasus, right here, come on, Indo-European, the pre-European. They said the European to them is black, and they spread what? Below the Russian territory, right? Now, dwell on that there, people. So, when we look at the Y DNA, and see that the R1B is from Africa and the R1A, they're both R1, they're both from Africa, but the R1A, so one brother was from Africa and he went out of Africa and into Europe, and the other brother was from Africa and he went out of what? Africa and into what? Where's R1A at again? I just lost it, damn it. R1A, I'm looking for you. Sounds like I'm looking for a droid, right? R1A. There he is. And he went up into what? This area. So that's why you have R1B all over this. Let me click this and hopefully it works. That's why you have R1B all over this, all right here, and then that's why you have R1A all over the rest of it, and then the Russian DNA. As Russians are like, these are people are black, they don't want to intermingle with them. So when you look at E1B1A, this says it's East African. I don't know if we can get that map to work. I'm tired of trying to look at it and see if this map is going to work. It's a mean map, buddy. I think I closed it already, didn't I? No. Rooster, people. Yeah, I think I closed it already. Let's try it again. Okay. This is as busy as it's gonna get right now. Alright. So look, when you look at down here, it even says Y DNA from Adam. Right? Okay, so now E1A, Dogon. That's the start of E1B and E1A. It's E1. Now, branches of that is E3, E2, wherever E2 is as well. Now, when we go to that, it says it's East African, right? We just saw that, right? Well, East African ancestor, descendants, right? Now, E1, B1A. And their equivalents. Now, here's people that say that they're the Hebrew Israelites, Ben Ephraim. But there's no evidence of that. That it just proves that they start in East Africa. And when you look at E1, it shows West Africa. Everybody just saw it. I'll go back. I'll make it boring. I'll make it boring. Which one was it? This one? There we go. Oh, don't do that. Arr. Back up there. Here, let's put it up further since we're up here. Let's put it up here by this Haplogroups. Now, this is West. This is East. Here's E3. You want this E3? There's A. What? A for Adam. A3. There's E3. There's E1. That's Dogon, right? E1 is Dogon. So, that's not what the Bible says, is it? The Bible doesn't say the Dogon tribe or anything like that, right? Alright. So, got a lot of people guessing at what E1B1A is. Now, we see what E1B1B is. And it's E1, it's the start of Dogon. Even though these people also say it's the Israelites, they're playing the same guessing game that most other people are. Now, when you go to E1B1B or EM12, is referred to in literature as E3B or E1B. See further now. Now, they already showed you when they look at other things such as A or F or any other number, E1 is the root or the alphabetical letter, then 1 is the root, and then 3 is that's the third, what? B for what? Branch. So when we go down, even though they say E1 and E3 are the same, it says defined by similar polymorphism and linking chromosome atom. Its native populations outside of Ethiopia is EM35. Okay, so it says EM215 has 2 ancient branches and contain all known modern E215, EM35, and EM281. Of these 2 branches that has been confirmed in a native population outside of Ethiopia, EM35 in turn has 2 known branches, which contain by far the majority of all modern known, EM215 men. EV68, EV257 have been found in the highest numbers in North Africa and the Horn of Africa, also in the lowest numbers in parts of Middle East, Europe, and isolated parts of South Africa. Now, if you want to understand more about it, there's the family tree, or you can go into what it says is the origins, Now, it says origins comes first. It says it's dated 22,000 years ago from the Horn of Africa. Dated by Bandy in 2005, between 15 and 20,000 years ago. Alright, so two different people. In 2007, Cronani dated it at about 22, and then Bettini dated it at 15 to 20,000 years old. Large difference between the haplogroup, all major branches, Horn of Africa, found in Neolithic, Sopot, and Legluni cultures too. Alright, so all you want to know is who they are, right? But all these people are telling you is groups outside of Ethiopia. Most possible place of origin, they'll tell you that. Ancestors, they'll tell you the haplogroup number. Descendants, haplogroup number. Who the fuck are they in layman terms? Why would they play this game? Because it's what it is. It's a game. So, in Africa, E-M215 is distributed in highest frequencies in the Horn of Africa and North Africa, where in recent millennia expanded as far as South Africa towards the West Asia and Europe, especially in the Mediterranean and Balkans. So, it is African blood. Now when you go down here, it says almost all E-M12 men are also E-M35 in 2004, E215 found to be older than M35 when individuals were found who have the M215 mutation but do not have the M35 mutation. In 2013, one individual in Kosharan, northeast Iran, was found by Dr. Cristoforo in 2000 to be positive for M215 but negative for M315, and by that person's blood said one bloodline was older than the other compared to other people. Great. EM215 and EM35 are quite common in Afro-Asiatic speakers. The linguistic group and carriers of EM35 lineage have a high probability to have arisen and dispersed together from the Afro-Asiatic Euromate. So, every time somebody fucking tells you that Nimrod is white, say bullshit. That's Afro-Asiatic territory and an Afro-Asiatic language. Among populations with Afro-Asiatic speaking history, a significant portion of Jewish male lineage are EM35, haplogroup EM35, which accounts for approximately 18% to 20% of the Ashkenazi. Okay. Wow. Who would have fucking thought that the Ashkenazi Jews have 18% of Africa blood? Proposedly Hamite blood. Because again, when you look at the page, it comes from there, right? That's where E1 comes out of. Dogon, and they're talking about E1. We're looking at E1B1 right now. And they were looking at E1B. Oh god. Yeah, E1B1B is what we're looking at. Okay, so sorry it's getting all confusing, but this is the whole point of it. Excuse me. So let me go back. Let's go back to R1. That's the big discovery. If you want to find out more and figure out who else is from this shit, just look all through that. You see there's Turks on there. That shit, and they go back to what? African blood. Alright, so before we get too deep on that one, we want to keep everything balanced. We want to learn it all at once. We don't want to know more about one bullshit and infect our thoughts about it all, right? So look, European populations. Let's see how much Europeans have African blood. So, 223 people were tested. They had European blood from R1 from Chad. They had European blood 35% from Dogon. In Albania, more Albanians were tested. 17% from one, 21% from the other. Now, R1B right there. R1A means they got their blood from African that came out of Africa and went into Arab land and then dispersed from Arab land after mating. Don't believe me? What was it? R1A, right? Oh, come on, don't jump that far. Nope, wrong one. Nope, nope. You knew that one was wrong. Oh, another day. Tired of flipping through these. Got too many open. There it is. Oh, alright. R1A. Ain't that the Arab territory right there? Southernmost point of Russia? Map it out for us. Any map we get is going to get the same shit. Come on, rasterize, piece of There you go. Look at that shit. Kazakhstan right there. Oh, no, right here. Where's Khazar land, huh? Black Sea right there. Where's Khazar land? Come on, wake up. Oh, but that was in the 14th century. Okay. Alright. I hear you. Just back then. They don't perpetrate that shit today, you know. So, that's the world map. Now I should get rid of some of this shit back here. Alright, here's where we are. So, how much more? So this is Albanians. This is where we left off before, right? So we'll scroll down some more. And look, there's all kinds of people. 23% of this African, 21% of this African, and 18% of Dogon, right? Who gives a shit what I, J, and other shit is, right? Now, they did this Bashkirs, right? They're 86% R1. So that's pale Chadic, right? And then 9% pale Arab. And then these others down here. The Basque, right there. 88% Chadic pale. Chadic lepers. 2% Dogon, 2.2. Look at this, the Basques, right? Right, the Bisque. Basques, 92% Chadic pale. Scroll down. Look, it says just the British, right? 68% Chadic pale. Canaanites come out of Africa. Share the same blood that the people of Chad do. Now, who are the people of Chad? Go to the Bible, go to the Hamites. Who are the people of Chad? Bulgarians. 800 were tested. They had 10% pale Chad blood, 17% pale Arab African blood, and then 22% Dogon blood. You know Dogon is that dark blood, right? Let's not play it. Catalans, 78% pale Chad blood, no Arab blood in them, no African Arab blood, excuse me, and 44.2% of E1B1B, right? That's E1B1's line, right? Yes. E1B1 is right there. So let's go further down. The Danes, 41 Chekhovs and Czechs and Slavs, 35% pale Dogon blood. Dutch, Danes, some of these Danes, none of them, during different trials. right? Different areas being tested. Northeast, southwest, north. Each time they tested north. Well, look, here's the fucked up thing. 38% of their blood goes to whatever that is, I or whatever is in this column. But then they don't have anything else. And that's a fairly high number, but look at this. The Germanic Danes got 2% Dogon blood and then nothing the fuck else. Who is their root DNA from? Now that kind of shit makes me go to SLC2485. It's a good time to introduce it. Now, SLC2485 appears to have played a key role in the evolution of light skin in humans of European ancestry. What do you mean, European ancestry? You mean European populations of fucking R1, R1B, R1A, I, whatever I represents, E1, B1B, Dogon, J, whatever J represents. Now, this is the fucking first time me looking at all this shit, and I know what half of these things represent, and you guys keep talking about it, and you guys don't know what shit of this represent. You guys don't even make sense about oh my god, you guys don't even know these used to be something else. H something and EU 18. So when you scroll down, the Czechs, the Danes, now this is what you can really do with it. You can tell how much the French, how much nigger blood the French got. The French italic, right? They tested 23. Those 23, they had 52% of pale Chadic blood in them, and they had 8% of E1B1 Dogon blood. 17% of whatever I represent. All right. Keep going down. Look, they got Germans on this list. Germans, 50. Look, 16 were tested, 50 flat. Look at these numbers. These numbers don't even come out as percentages. They just come out as whole fucking numbers. Isn't that weird? 50% of R1B, 16% R1A, 22% of I, and 6% of Dogon E1B1B. Now, you go through these charts, and this is what it is. If you understand what this map actually means, where's that damn map at? Oh my god, where'd the map go? Oh, I need the map separate of this. Oh, that's not the one. This is, oh, that's not the one. Oh, that's not the one. Oh, I'm striking out, man. Oh, that's the one. When you have this map as some kind of key, it's not very helpful. The only way it's helpful is when you utilize these graphs and understand what these are then saying. That these people that are in West Germany, when this survey was done, and that partook in the survey in 2000, if they moved, this is no longer viable. If any information has changed about their locations, this information is no longer viable. It says this is what they have in their blood. When you match it back to that map, it says ex-African, what? Used ex-African. It says leprous stayed whole, or stayed melanated. Now, when you look at these Germans, and you see the percentage of leprous DNA, ain't no offense, man. This is biblical. This ain't in your face or anything like that. When you look at the percentage of leprous DNA versus melanated DNA, then you can see why Germans have so much sulfur in their skin versus EU melanin. Remember when Tyrone Street did that video, we learned about the sulfur and the EU melanin. I can't remember what the sulfur in their blood is called, but I do remember EU melanin. Sorry. That's what happens. Alright, so the Greek from Peloponnese, 36 were tested. They have 42% of their blood is E1B1 African, and they have nothing else in them. So 47 is a high percentage, but it's not more than 50%. So you have to ask yourself, even though it's still a high number, what is their root? because even the box that is considered other is not checked. When you look at these Greeks up here, now you heard the Greeks say they fucked gods. Even these Greeks up here, 118 were tested, 22% from R1B, 8% from R1A. Pale Arab, R1A, Pale Chadic, R1B. Now, as you scroll down, hungry people of Hungary, look at the Irish. Pale, Chad, or Pale. If you go from what Khalid Saheed spouts out about Nebuchadnezzar, then you're looking at Pale Nebuchadnezzar. Now, 0.5 is Pale Arab or Persian. Or if that's even considered the area of Persian or Kazakhstan is next to Kazakhstan, but it's pretty much the area of Khazaria. If you look at these Italians, look at this: 50% of them was tested. 50 were tested, and 62% of it had pale Chadic blood. 8%. Whatever that letter, I think it's I right there, represents, and I think this is J over here. And whatever those represent, we'd have to open up 2 more tabs and read a little bit more to understand what those are, which ain't a bad thing. It's just more time to the video. I'm sure this video is pushing 2 hours right now. So if you just want to know who's got a lot of Dogon blood, you just scroll down the Dogon column. Look, South Italians got 26. Sicily Italian got 27. Sicily East got 29. Sicily West got 19. Now you know the Amorites came up through. Now, if you say the Sicilians were fucked by the Amorites, and they were turned black by them, well, here you have a bunch of E1, B1B black blood inside of Italians. Now, don't let the Italians sit there and tell you they're whole, because the Russians know they're all fucked through. Excuse my French. Don't let them act like they're better than you because you got black skin, because your ancestors ended that bullshit a long time ago. That's what they're fucking hiding. Our ancestors fucked them a long time ago. That's what all this caste system is. And for this, God put us on the bottom of the caste system. And they've just been growing the caste system until it grows out of proportion. And the slaves that are on the bottom, or whoever controls time, turns the tables upside down. That's what it says. History repeats itself. If blacks were on top throughout history at a point, now whites are on top throughout history to a point, the tables will turn again. The tables will. It's just how it's written. So when you just keep scrolling down, you can see how much people have either black blood or African blood or leprous African blood, because it says leprosy took place to the Canaanites. I don't care if people are acting like, oh, that's rude. I'm not trying to be rude. These people that call themselves Chad or Chadic languages, these are part of Canaanites. If they call Ham Cham, then there's something to the name of Chad that's going to show that these are the Canaanites that experience leprosy, because they share blood with the Northern Europeans. And this isn't just a little blood, it's the same blood branch. Now, until they put our branches up here without marginalizing them, to my DNA, it's bullshit. There's nothing I can do. It's just the way it is. So as I keep scrolling down here, you see the Moldovians. Here, I'll show you. If Macedonians right there, the Skopje, see how they got some of everybody in them? They fucked everybody. Look, hey, 52 people were tested to prove it. And they got some of everybody in them. See these Maltese? They're Afro-Asiatic, Semitic, right? Now, I used to have that book. I lost it in Texas. It was a Canaanite book that talked about when the Canaanites were kicked out of Canaan. It was a book of runes. It was a little pamphlet. It said when the Canaanites were kicked out of Canaan, what'd they do? They went to all the nations and they started with the Maltese and they started mystery schools. Knights of Malta. Here's the Maltese. See, you think I'm bullshitting, but it is right here. You can see in their blood. They fucked everybody. Don't give me that shit. Somebody's whole, somebody's not mixed. When you look at this shit, you can tell who's mixed and who's not mixed. Now the Europeans done told you who's mixed and who's not mixed. Some of these blood groups, the Moldovians from Sofia, right? 54 were tested. 16% of that, 20% of that, 35. There ain't one dash except for when it says other. They didn't play around with everybody. These Mordvins, these Uralic Finnic people, they haven't. They've messed with one blood group, R1A. God, this shit is easy to memorize. Oh, it's gonna infect my nightmares. Oh, man, I used to like my nightmares. I could fight in them and defend myself. This shit. Okay, so who the Mordvins mate with? Because this is kind of weird, you know, when you get all these blanks and shit over. And look down here, these other ones down here. 46 were tested at one time, 46 more were tested later. Now, what, did aliens come down, mate with them, and start producing? Because it doesn't say they mated with anybody else that lives around them. Those are the weird categories. Now, the Norwegians right here, see how they got 3 columns? It doesn't tell you how many are tested. I don't know why. But 3 columns are filled in. So see, they've been mating amongst themselves. But again, when you only got 1 column and the number is relatively low and all these other blanks, that's not saying that they've been mating with themselves. Now, see how the Poles, the Polak people, the Slavic, the West Slavic slaves, look, 900 were tested. And you can see they got numbers in most categories. They've mated with all the different people around. Want to know why? Because they're fucking Slavic. They're slaves. The Slavic people that are in the south or southwest end of, where's that Europe map? Oh, it's over here. That are under the, everybody on this side that's Slavic gets enslaved, right? Everybody on this side that you can see all up in here that's Caucasian gets enslaved. See how that works? So see the Romanians, all that other shit. You see the Romanians and a little bit of everybody. So here you have Russians. These Russians, 42% Arab, R1A, right? And 21% leprous Chadic, R1B. Alright, you see these Russians haven't used low percentages and no mixing at all. Well, what'd they mate with to grow? See these Swedes right here? This is the kind of shit you'd expect, right? Numbers across the board. Some missing, but numbers across the board. 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 4 people groups mating over history with each other. That's natural. That's natural. Mating with people groups to the north of them, to the east of them, the south of them, to the west of them. Here's Russians in Smolensk. 10% of their DNA is registered in the fucking DNA line. Nothing else is. Where's the 90% of their DNA come from? And don't bullshit me. When I scroll over in 2004, it doesn't say other. Alright? This is the other column, the big fat box. So, understand, here you got Sephardic Jews down here. 74, see how this works? 78, excuse me, Afro-Asiatic. That's you. So for 78, 29% of their blood was leprous, Chadic, leprous Canaanite. We might as well say that. 3% was leprous Arab. 19% was Dogon. 28 was something else. So these guys are called Sephardic, right? Sephardic Jews, and they're Afro-Asiatic, right? And then you saw that the Ashkenaz was considered what, R1A. Alright, so you go further down, Spanish, south. So this is Spain. 65 of them is the Chadic Canaanite blood there. 9% E1B1B. Tartars that you guys screaming about. 8% Chadic Canaanite leprous blood. 24%, I would assume, since it's from the same stock that was sent out at the same time, it'd be Canaanite Arab blood. Leprous Canaanite Arab blood. Turks, same difference, right? Across the board, they've been through everybody. You know the Turks are Edom. So, you know, yeah, 89%, the Welsh, 89% fucking Canaanite blood. Chadic, or whatever that biblical name is. Whatever Chad's biblical name is, if it's not a Canaanite, prove me wrong. Alright, so, and then you have SLC2485, one more time. SLC2485 appears to have played a key role in the evolution of light-skinned humans of European ancestry. So sometimes when you're looking at these charts and you see these blanks all the way through, like something filled the void. I'm going to go into the SLC2485, how that goes into what one person think Pakal's tomb lid has to do with cross genetics, and we'll see what that has to do with the Sumerian text and all kinds of other things, and we'll see what that has to do with how come some people have faces like animals. Yeah, we're going to have to at least look into it. Okay, let me go through the rest and see what else I have here. We got the Haplogroup, R1. We looked at that, and that's the Arab family. How the Arab family has sprouted out, and that's why these are mixed Arab groups. That's why Turkey is. Where's Turkey? It's either right there or over here. I think it's right here. I think Turkey's right there. Whatever. It's one of them. But you know, Macedonia. It's all this stuff. Well. Here we have EV38. We were reading about that. So it's E1B1A. So it's not E1A. It's not E1B. It's E1B1A. Not, and then the other one's E1B1B. Alright, then we have the world map again. Let's get rid of some of these. And then EM21. We were reading about those. Oh god, just what a fucking nightmare to read about this stupid shit. Oh, that's what I wanted to read. How when you read it, it says outside Ethiopia, but it's as it's saying the frequency that it's found outside of Ethiopia. When you look at Ethiopia, it's it's East Africa, not West Africa, like E1 was found in. And that's why I had this up. I forgot about that. And now somebody was talking about this and made a 7-minute video that was like, hey, I hope this explains something to you. I hope this explains something to you. You see this guy right here? You see this guy right here? Now I want you to think about how this guy right here, now I'm sorry, you see it at whatever size you see it. Here, I'll go in real close. I got a tripod, so I can't go in that close. You know what? I can slide this forward. I'm gonna break something, I can tell. If it ain't something important, it's gonna be like my ankle or something. Now, see that guy right there? Hope that serves it. Slides in real good. Now I'm gonna zoom out. See that guy right there? Come on, man. Y'all gotta see what's going on, man. The real game about things. You were looking up chief races of mankind, so I want you to keep that in mind. See, because when they go over stuff, they don't try to show you none of these shits, you know. And they don't even want to show you stuff about the chief races of mankind when the camera's invented. Alright, this video's been long enough. Try to remember some of the stuff you learned today, and we'll get to some new stuff later. This was, yeah, an hour ago. This is the most recent. Thank you all. From my heart to yours, thank you all. I pray we're successful with this venture. And there are going to be people that come and help and assist that in this society could not make great wage or even decent wage. But listening and learning and having the opportunity that isn't given to them here. This is the chance that we have. Now once we get there and we start growing food and we're able to eat and we have a constructive way to have water, not only for the food to grow but for ourselves to clean and to bathe as well, besides just eating and drinking, then things start growing. And as things grow, we'll have different sections to be able to utilize our own talents, like the studying and the athletics. We will have time to unify these and work on unified strategies within ourselves, surroundings. We'll have time to learn to hunt or to teach each other to hunt, depending on who comes and what skills they have. There's so many things that we'll be able to do on our own once we're there and set up. Now, for all these people that think that they're gonna bring problems, and for all the people that think that there are going to be problems, well, you sit at home and you worry about that, and when the problems in your cities arise, pray to God. Because for some reason you don't think, even though this is written in scripture, you don't think God is going to protect us from morons or from vandals or from evil itself. Now I'll show you something later in the video, and I'll just save my comments for that then. Now I'm going to go through the series of things that we've been learning lately, and we'll just get a collective mindset. Now, I just uploaded a video that talked about King Juba, and we were watching a smooth perspective, and he shows us that they wanted King Juba's book of knowledge. Now, here we went into the book the American nations, or the outlines of the general history, ancient and modern, including the whole history of the earth and of mankind in the Western Hemisphere, the philosophy of American history, and the annals, traditions, civilization, languages, all of the American nations, tribes, empires, and states. And we were down at Preface 10. Starts off the names of the patriarchs, and we get down to Satan, or Iblis, was disgraced from heaven, where Rezoin was his successor, and Iblis, or Satan, was exiled to Seyestan. Satan was exiled to Satan. Seyestan. With the snake and the peacock tribe, his followers. We go to Mercury. You might think this one's out of order, but it's not. We go to Mercury. It's the Roman god. One of the deconsentes within the ancient Roman pantheon. He is the patron god of financial gain, America. Commerce, America. He is the patron god of eloquence, thus poetry, America. He is the patron god of communication, America, including divination, Hollywood, America. Travelers checks, travelers, boundaries, separate this part of America from this part of America and this part of America. Luck, give the traders, casinos, trickery, land theft, thieves, land theft. Oh, we'll get to that part later. He is also the guide of souls to the underworld. Oh, another guy. So when Jesus went to the underworld, did he say hi to Mercury? Did he pass Mercury? Did they high five? Is Jesus Mercury? Mercury rising! He was considered the son of Maya, and Jupiter. He's the sun god, the sun deity. He's what? His name possibly related to the word mercs, as in merchandise, merchant, commerce, mercenary, mercari, to trade, or merkez, wages. Another possible connection to the Proto-Indo-European root merge for boundary, border. Okay, so to merge borders, right? Colonization, right? And set up mercari, trade, right? And enslave people and deny them their mercesses, their wages, right? Or am I making this shit up? It's right here, right? Peacock, hunky, land-stealing hunky bastard, right? Boundary, border, right? Merge. The word merge and boundary. You know the fucking word merger means take over. Boundary means take over someone's boundary. Merc. Mrick. Look at this shit. Old Norse, mark of the beast, right? The mark of the what? The Trade Federation. The UC fucking, what is this dude always saying? Kyle's always saying the UPC codes. In the movie The Matrix, they got all barcodes and shit. Now they got scanners, right? A company here and blah 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 is trying out the barcodes for specific people to have access to the cameras. Another possible connection. Okay, you see that? Merge. You know that's merger. Margot. Keepers of the boundaries, referring to the role as the. He's put his mouth where his time is, and then he has put his money where his mouth is. This is 432. He has dropped to 144. 144,000. He is given $144. Thank you from the smallest donation to the largest donation. Trying to get to the beginning of these. Alright, Mr. Wright, 17 days ago, donated $15. Thank you, sir. Kentra Brighton donated. Chris Hall donated. Mr. Hall was in Washington. Mr. Wright was in Washington. Sheila Bourne donated. Thank you very much. Lucy Addiskin has donated. Lucy lives overseas. Thank you, Lucy. Thank you very much. These people care about you. They care about themselves and you. They care about a future with you. Antoine Daniels, thank you very much. Madison H. Madison H. She was in what? Washington with us. Like Mr. Wright, she donated twice. If we don't do, someone anonymous did. Someone that goes by AH donated. Mr. Wright donated. Chuck Taylor, thank you very much, sir. Thank you, Miss Vanessa Perkins. Here's Madison, donating again. Here's Miss Angela Coakley, thank you. If you're a Mrs., if somebody I call Miss and you're a Mrs., is no disrespect, I just don't know you all personally. Hopefully this gets set up and some of you want to come out and put your hands on in the soil and we can toil together. Marco Barnett, thank you very much. I don't have the right to speak for someone like Simon D. Williamson. Thank you, sir. And I don't have the right to speak for Elaine Braithwaite. But I'm sure Simon, seeing this right now, understands that he's thankful that Elaine is there. Now look, if it was just Simon, then only one person donated. But Simon and Elaine donating together, that yokes them into a bond, even though they don't know each other yet. I pray one day they do, on great terms. Another anonymous person, Eddie Tuggles, thank you. Hey, I've been watching you for years. You're right on point. Now I will see you in the U. Hey. Mr. Marcus Amp, 432. Thank you. Antoine Daniels, thank you. Albert Harris. The problem is we are spread out. For us to come together in one place and be able to eat. Malik Prince, thank you. This person said, I'm doing this for my children's future. That made me cry, man. Francisco Perez, thank you. These are the people that donated. Between the bridge between the upper and lower worlds, okay? So these people, they consider themselves the bridge between the boundaries, right? Every time they show you Odin and this fucking Bifrost bridge, right? So in his earliest forms, he appeared to have been related, right, by blood to the Euchristian deity Terms. Both gods share the characteristics of the Greeks' god Hermes, right? Alright, so history, Mercury did not appear among the numinous deities of Roman region. Rather, he subsumed the earlier blah 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 as Roman religion was syncretinized. Excuse me. What does it mean to syncretinize? I'll show you this shit already. Syncretinism, the combining of different, often contradictory beliefs. I'm the Son of God, and I am God! How the fuck can you possibly say that? That's contradictory beliefs. That's syncretinism. That comes from motherfucking Cretans. How many times do I have to tell you? Heathens are Cretans. Where do they come from? Crete. What is Crete? It's an island. What does that mean? That their root DNA is Japhet, the people of the motherfucking island. What happened? They got bored on the island. Their shit wasn't enough, so they saw all other people's shit and they started coveting it. So they started taking a piece from this and that. Right? I kill him, he had a nice sword. I kill the other guy, he had a nice headband. Now I've got what? Syncretinism of my what? Culture. Now it's absolutely not a big stretch to, hey, before I killed you, he said something about his God, his beliefs. Now I'm going to take what I can remember because he babbled a lot of shit. But I do remember this, and I still love my Trinity. So his God's the top of the Trinity, right? No, I killed him, so his God's now the bottom of the Trinity. While blending practices of various schools of thought. Well, back at home, Dad said, chop that motherfucker's head off and take a bite of him. Because we believe Druid practices. And I do that in front of people, and they freak out. So I'll have to have a school of thought of blending other people's practices so they don't freak out when I fuck people up in front of them. And then I'll blend the beliefs. And when I take a piece of them, I just won't show everybody. Syncretinism involves the merger of analogizing. Analogizing. You get that? I killed him first. Then it should say fucking chronological. What is analog, right? What is digital first and analog? Digital, you can skip around, right? Analog, you've got to take it piece by piece by piece or hit the rewind button. We took them over first, so that piece is now added to our beliefs. We took them over next, and now that part is added to our beliefs. Of several originally discrete traditions. Traditions are brought forth by cultures. So what the fuck they're saying here is several fucking cultures have been fucking what? Stripped away of their goddamn beliefs, and a different belief system has come up, sprung up, i.e. religion. So these motherfuckers believe in Hermes, but they can see people really believe in Mercury, but they really dig Christ. So they put the image of Christ so they can worship Hermes, whom is Mercury. See, Rome just changed the fucking name. Do we have a wing hat? Do we have a fucking wing hat? Come on, they got the same shit. Wing cap. Alright. Hi. How are you? You're looking at me. I'm looking at me. Me, I, me, whatever. Alright, so we are attempting to go to Utah. We are asking for people to help. The people that help, by all means, it's a place for you to help grow food. For people that come, by all means, if you serve the same God that we serve, it's a place for you to have food. Now, whatever we get out of this, whatever lemon juice we squeeze out of this and make lemonade from, the little bit of sweetness that each of us adds is how tasty it shall be. Okay? Alright, so it says the people's names on the page, does it? Alright, so, okay, well, It does. So thank you for the people that have been donating, and especially the people that have donated twice. I mean, that's really when you know somebody really cares. There was you could see the people's, if they can remain anonymous if they want to. Look at that. So that's cool. I can get into that. All right. So I said I wrote this statement to kick this off. Assemble yourselves. Set up the standard toward Zion. It's important that we as a people on this journey have a few resources. Food, water, bedding are great needs of any individual or group. Unfortunately, these things are not free, nor are they easy to acquire without finance. Because of this, I need your help. I, Alexander Williams, lexwill. I, lexwill. I usually say that as one. Everybody says it back to me as two because this is my second channel and I had to type it up there, blah, 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 blah. I'm asking for your assistance to make a journey to Utah to acquire land. This land will be used to dwell and farm. It will be a starting point for ourselves to practice our Hebrew customs. Worship together and someday make a sacrifice as one to the Creator. I am raising the money for travel and investigation purposes to grow a refuge near locations mentioned in the biblical writings of Deuteronomy chapter 32 and chapter 34. The money donated will be used for travel, for food, for camping expenses. Once selected, the future site of our growth together. The urgency is extreme. For far too long, we as many Afro peoples or black people groups have sat and watched the world slowly die. Our predicament hasn't changed, nor will it without our own willpower. Only in a society set on our terms will we ever find the equality that we claim, we desire, that we deserve. Help me, help ourselves away from their Luciferian New Age. Now, I'm going to thank all these people. Now, Marcus Andrews especially, because this man has activated himself.